All right, everybody. Good evening. It's Dr. Jade here with Eight Flags Chiropractic, and we are discussing the 10-day inflammation, healthy inflammation response cleanse. So today we're going to do a little bit of a talk about what inflammation is, how it works in the body, and we're going to be talking about the program and what the supplements are and how they're going to help support that system. But before we get started, we're going to meet with Mr. G here, Mr. Camargo. So let me spotlight you here so that you can talk, and also unmute yourself if you wouldn't mind there for us, G.
Hello, I think everybody can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Well, hello, my name is G, and I'm really excited about this and really actually proud of you guys looking for this improvement. This is when Dr. J talked to me about this, I was really like happy with this, seeing this movement on the community. It's all about what we believe in. That's really good. That's really good. I know you guys doing good, and I'm really looking forward to see the feedbacks after all like this days and see how you guys feel. And that's a good way to go.
Absolutely. So, G, you also offered the free drink item for everybody. Everybody received a coupon in their kit. So, if you want to explain a little bit about Grab and Grow, why we've kind of agreed to work together in these kind of things. I mean, what you guys are doing over at Grab and Grow is pretty great. It goes hand in hand with what we do here.
Sure. Yes. I believe everybody got the coupon. It's just like we call as a booster for this first step. Like I believe like some of you guys are already doing good. Some are just like still trying to figure out your spot on this path of healthiness. Well, the point is Grab and Grow is it started from a pain I got myself like 3 years ago. I was all upside down, messed up. I like to say disconnected for everything I believed about quality of life. And and I was searching for something that you guys have now, like with this program you're doing with Grab and Grow now. But by the time I wasn't aware of any kind of thing that could help me. So I started doing myself at home, but you know how hustle it is sometimes. And I was looking for some support, and then I started to out of this pain. I just came up with Grab and Grow, which is a concept for like a fast food, but it doesn't need to mean junk food, you know, like so fast food to help you through the to eat better, you know. So we believe on plant-based diet. We believe like inflammation comes from like we don't believe in disease. We believe in non-health, you know. So if you're like get inflammation, that's where the disease come from, and it's all about what you eat and what you do in your life, you know. So this is what we do. We help you to eat better. So when doctor came to me and talk about like this program and what you guys like targeting, I say, well, that's perfect. I think we can work together and help them even more. So that little coupon you guys have on hands now is just like a booster, like I said. So you can see that even after these 10 days, you still have support. You can count on us, like here on a community for like those days you're in a rush. You know, you like keep going with this you're starting now. Make it a habit is the secret. We believe that every action need like consistency, you know. So it needs to be handy. It needs to be something that worked out on your daily routine. So you can check it out. Like you can use this during your program, or you can save this for after all. We're gonna talk a little bit about the inflammation, all this here. I just want to introduce like Grab and Grow, what we here for, and how we can help you guys in partner with Eight Flags Chiropractic.
Yeah, I think it was meant to be when I reached out to you a couple of different times, but the timing worked out perfectly where we were able to get in touch with each other and talking about inflammation and how your foods are meant to fight inflammation. And at the same time as we were preparing for this inflammation cleanse, I feel like it was meant to be. So we're really excited that you guys are working with us on this and that you're offering that support for the cleansers afterwards. I know I'll take advantage of the coupon, especially for the mochaccino protein shake.
Wow,
So
it's my
that's my
favorite. That's my
favorite.
breakfast right there. It's a great
Yes.
way to start your day.
Yeah. And it gets you going for sure. All
Yes.
right.
Well, let me just like take like on this you just said like the mochaccino is a great example because everybody likes coffee, and some like the best advice is take your coffee with no sugar, straight black coffee. But some people just won't take the bitter flavor. So just to make this link with the inflammation thing, everybody knows the sugar is the big enemy here, right? It is where it starts the whole cascade of the inflammation process on the system. You don't want the insulin crazy released in your body.
Yeah.
So what we do every drink, every like juice, we don't sweeten at all. But every smoothie, if you want some sweetener, like for the coffee one, the only sweetener we have here is the agave, which is one of the best glycemic index. So you have less insulin release from your pancreas. So is this is just an idea how we look for this when we do what we do. So even like the breads, like whole grain, we have gluten-free options. So you can start thinking about this as the doctors like go and discuss about the inflammation, how to avoid this, or how you work together with the program you guys doing. Okay, so just to make a link with the mochaccino is a great example of the sweetener is something really important when it comes to inflammation.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, G, for meeting with me on here, for speaking to your business and letting everybody know that you guys are here. You're located on 8th Street, and do you want to give them any more information how they can find you or order from you?
Sorry, just got a truck passing by.
That's
Just the last thing you said.
yeah. Do you want to let everybody know and how they can order from you?
Sure, yes. Well, I'm taking advantage of the place I am now. I'm not sure if there's any way to flip my camera. I'm not sure. Well, yes, I see. I'm right here in front of here right now. It's on 8th Street, crossing from Burger King. So just choose your side, which side you want to be. So there's Burger King, McDonald's right there. So we're right here on this strip mall,
Bright orange.
and yes, so you can order online. Sorry, you can order through DoorDash. If you want a delivery, just get the app on your phone and order through DoorDash. Just search for Grab and Grow. Or you can call in your order and stop by, pick it up. We have a picnic table outside undercover if you want to enjoy the weather, or you can just pick it up and take out. And one extra thing we just came up with, besides the drink you guys received on the bag, if you go grabandgrownow.com, you're going to be directed to a page we created, and you can put your name and some information we want to know about you. If you're like eating on like a meat eating diet, or vegetarian or vegan, and then you can download a special coupon for you guys. It's a free item for you to come and pick your favorite. So you
Awesome.
you have like 2 visits on us now. You can have like your free drink and save the other coupon. Just go to grabandgrownow.com and do the download of this special coupon.
All right. You got it, G. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So if you want to hang out with us, G, you're more than welcome to. We are going to now share the screen. So, guys, just bear with me for a second while I pull this up. And Here we go. All right. So, everybody, I'm so glad that you guys are participating in this program with us. Pretty much everybody in the office is doing it this time. Typically, every time everyone in the office participates. So, it's always fun to have our other patients join us in this, other people in the community as well. We have a few people participating that are not patients as well. So, I just wanted to have a little shout out here to Grab and Grow. If you guys wanted to see how they spell it, you can take a little screenshot of that there and check out their menu on your phone. 3, 2, 1. All right. So, what we're going to be focusing on here is your challenge. What I want to make sure that you guys focus on is following the guidelines in the booklet. That's going to be a great place to go for your resources. You want to focus on eating whole, unprocessed foods. So, when you're going to the grocery store, there's that saying about going around the outside of the grocery store and staying away from the inner aisles where all the boxed and processed foods are located. So that's a nice philosophy to follow. You also want to drink your shakes with whole food ingredients. So goes across the board with what you drink as well. And take that simple protocol of supplements throughout the day. So what you want to avoid are the refined carbohydrates, your artificial sweeteners, your sugars, chemical additives, processed meats, all of that stuff in the red box over there. We do not want anything to do with that. So this on the bottom there, can you lose 10 pounds in 10 days? That's the true challenge. So it's going to be difficult to lose 10 pounds in 10 days because 10 days is not very long. But if there's a lot of inflammation in your body, it's possible for you to lose close to that much. So here's how we start. You're going to go through your kitchen if you haven't done so already and clear out all the foods that are not on the food list. That includes your refined sugars, the fats that you shouldn't be eating, those carbohydrates that I just mentioned. And an option that you can do is just drop it off at your local food bank. So go ahead and deliver that to Barnabas. They'll be very happy to receive any foods. They don't really care if it's in a box or not. So, and I think anybody is happy to get food if they're not able to get some themselves very easily. So, after you've cleaned out your kitchen, you want to stock your pantry. Go shopping for those fruits, veggies, lean proteins. The biggest thing is to be prepared for a few days worth of meals. In the past cleanses that we've done, that's been one of the biggest comebacks that people have had, reviews or reports back on how they did. They wish that they had planned a little bit better for the week by grocery shopping for longer than just one day or 2 dinners worth of food. And then we want to talk about making these simple life changes. Now, G mentioned that a part of it is lifestyle, so getting more sleep. And maybe that means turning the TV off at 9 o'clock instead of falling asleep in front of it and waking up at 11 o'clock. So being a little proactive about that, getting more sleep. Don't sit for too long, take stretch breaks, get up, move around, force yourself to go to the copier or go for a walk around the building, whatever, unless it's too hot. And be more active and try new things. Feel free to, if a friend invites you to go play pickleball, because that's really big around here, then why not go and try it? And another challenge that you can have is 10 steps a day. So if you can accomplish the 10 steps a day and follow these protocols that we have in the guidebook, you should be in pretty good shape. So a few other tips for success: eat frequently, have snacks. One thing that I really like to keep on the side is a shaker cup, a smaller one, like a half shaker cup, and put a portion or a serving of sunflower seeds in there. So you get a nice little snack with some fat. Another one is to eat twice as many veggies as you do fruit. It's very easy to fall into eating more fruit, but it's pretty important that you get those vegetables more than the fruit because the difference between the two is not the nutrients you're getting. In fact, they're both loaded with nutrients. It's that the fruit has a lot more sugar in it than the vegetable does. So although it's natural, it's still sugar and it's going to affect your bloodstream. Add mixed green salad to your lunch and dinner. That's a great way to fill you up. You will not feel hungry later. Try different veggies with a variety of colors. I was just talking to Jessica today about a fridge full of rainbow. So having that rainbow in your refrigerator is very helpful and provides you a lot more variety of nutrients. And then drink water. We all know this quote, half your body weight in ounces. That's how much water you should be drinking. So if you're 120 pounds, then you should be drinking 60 ounces in water, and you guys can figure it out from there. All right, so this is what we're here for, right? Detoxing the body. The biggest part of this program is the SP cleanse. And having a functioning metabolic detoxification system is what that is specifically meant for. So your detoxification system's always there. We say innate. That means that it's something that the body does without us having to purposefully think about it. So it's just like breathing, your heartbeat, all those things like that. Um, it was, although it's there all the time, it's not always meant, or it wasn't designed initially to support the amount of stress that we put through it now. So it often gets overburdened, overloaded, and then that's when we start to have these other low grade symptoms pop up, or things that regular primary care providers may have a little bit of a difficult time pinning down with their finger to be able to fix or cure. Um, so here's the metabolic detox. There's 3 phases to it. So what we want to look at is phase 1, and this is what we're trying to help the body do with the SP cleanse and with the other supplements in the program. Phase 1 is to unlock these toxins that are stored within your fat. Typically, they're stored in the fat. And what we do for step 1 is to create it or make it more water soluble. So it's basically exposing it from the fat. Now, that also kind of makes it a little bit more toxic. So it's a little bit more like it can create problems rather than in its stored state. So it's important that we're able to move it on through phase 2 by neutralizing it. That's when we make it even more water soluble. And then phase 3 is when we eliminate it. Because it has become more water soluble, we're able to either sweat it out or urinate it out or anything like that. All right. So they can come from a few different places. We have endogenous toxins and exogenous toxins. So the exogenous ones are ones that we typically think of, pollutants in the air, the chemicals that we use, preservatives in foods that we eat. But the endogenous ones are ones that we don't typically think more about. And that is the carbon dioxide that's created as we transition oxygen to carbon dioxide. We have to have the ability to expel that carbon dioxide, and that's also considered a detox. That's how your lungs detox your body. Free radicals, if you can see the little picture down there, those free radicals, it looks like a little evil monster trying to steal that electron from that cell, the healthy cell. So what the antioxidants do is they come in and they give that angry free radical what it wants, so it leaves the healthy cells alone. All right, and toxins are everywhere. So the big thing to see here is that they can contribute to fatigue, difficulty sleeping, indigestion, other GI issues, low libido. Skin issues is a huge one, and that's usually a big opener for when my patients come in. I see a lot of eczema, specifically on the back of the neck, under the head, and that could be a sign of some metabolic issues or your body having a hard time getting rid of its toxins. So these are just a few statistics down here. 800 million plus pounds of herbicides are used every year. That's a lot. And we're eating that and potentially breathing it in and drinking it in our water. We also have 80,000 chemicals that are registered for use and 167 industrial chemicals found in adults that don't even have any employment related exposure. So this could be, in our office, we deal with cleaning supplies a lot. So we're dealing with a lot of disinfectants, and that could also potentially be a burden on the body. But for somebody who's not handling it every day, it seems kind of odd that we have that high of a number for something that's not as typical. All right, so let's talk about the program products. We've got, first one to start is your protein powder, your SP Protein Complete, whether you got the vanilla, the dairy-free, or the chocolate, they're all going to benefit you the same. The protein powder is got a great source of amino acids, essential fatty acids, and other vitamins. It supports your intestinal and muscular and immune health. And it's also going to provide that antioxidant activity that's going to help feed um, those angry guys, feed them so that they leave those healthy cells alone. So the other part of this is that it's going to support normal elimination of toxins. It's going to help clear out the GI tract by doing that. So here are some of the key ingredients that are in the protein powder. We've got barley grass, which is really great for those antioxidants. That's what's going to supply that. And that addresses the toxins in the body. We've got alfalfa, which promotes digestive health. Buckwheat, rice, and flax. Those are going to provide fiber that are going to support healthy elimination. We like to say that buckwheat is the roto-rooter for your intestines. It's going to help scrape those walls, the linings of your intestines, so you can absorb your nutrients a lot better and reduce the inflammation that lines the gut so that we don't potentially leak and bring in particles that we don't want and not absorb what we actually do want. And then, of course, we've got our wheat and rice proteins, which provide the building blocks of proteins. That's what builds your muscles and your cells and all of that. The next part we got here is the SP cleanse. So the cleanse is what's going to also support healthy kidney, liver, and gallbladder function. This is the one that I mentioned. That's a big part of the metabolic detoxification process to support that. What we've got inside of the SP cleanse, and the most important one, is actually that Spanish black radish root. That black radish root, that's going to support the detoxification enzyme activity in the liver. That's what supports phase 1 into phase 2. That's what's going to neutralize it. So it's very important that we get that specific enzyme in, and that's what standard process has used to provide that service. Of course, we've got your apple pectin, your burdock root. Those are going to be really great source of fiber, you can imagine based on the picture there. Your juniper berry is a natural diuretic, so that's going to help clean out your kidneys. You've got your barley grass, which provides vitamin B, C, minerals, and other supportive phytonutrients. And the fenugreek seed is really great with cholesterol metabolism. So you can see there's a lot of different layers to metabolism, different aspects. You've got your urinary system, your GI system, your cholesterol or your fat, how that's stored in your body, and what it's storing with it. Next, we've got our turmeric forte. So the turmeric forte actually also contains fenugreek seed. And we'll talk a little bit about why in the next slide here. It supports healthy liver function and healthy joints. So turmeric forte, and I'm sure you guys have heard about how adding the spiced turmeric to your foods is going to help reduce inflammation. There are so many different kinds of turmeric supplements out there. This one in particular has been combined with fenugreek fiber to create a more bioavailable source of turmeric. Your body's able to absorb it and hold it in the cells a lot easier because of how the fenugreek fiber has been combined with it. So the next thing we've got is the Cyruta Plus. This one's pretty interesting. This one helps with your circulatory system specifically. I mentioned the roto-rooter for your GI tract. Now this one's going to be the roto-rooter for your arteries. This one's going to help more particularly with the capillaries and capillary health and how the cell walls are supposed to be allowing certain cells out to be able to do their job in the immune system support and protecting the body, and also how nutrients are transferred back and forth to the tissues. This can be associated with people who have cold hands and cold feet. If you get a little bit of tingling in your hands and feet, this is something that may help with that. So here's a picture of the arteries to the arterioles to capillaries to venules to veins. So you can see how it transitions from oxygenated to non-oxygenated. And what we're looking at is the capillaries right in the middle there. And we're going to take a look at that again in a future slide. So I want you to keep that in mind when we get there. And these are the other ingredients. Now, the bovine adrenal cytosol extract is actually pulled from a bovine cow's adrenal gland. So there is actual cow gland in this supplement. All right, so the next one we've got then is the black currant seed oil. This is their version of the essential fatty acid that they wanted to include in the program. This contains GLA as an essential fatty acid. There's different kinds of fatty acids, and we'll kind of talk more about that again in a couple of slides. And essential fatty acids are important in cell wall integrity, and that's important in cell health. And if our cells aren't healthy, then we as a whole are not healthy. So, this is why we definitely want to take essential fatty acids to support that part of the system. So here's a picture of a cell wall. And so you can see how it's broken down there. We've got the phospholipid bilayer, and then we've got the hydrophilic heads. So the fatty acids are supposed to be those little hydrophilic heads. And what happens is that the fatty acids actually are those little balls, those little molecules. If we don't have enough of those, you can imagine some of those molecules missing and how that would allow for anything and anyone to get into the cell to kill it or hurt it in any way. So that's why we want to make sure we have our essential fatty acids. There's many other purposes for it too. So of course, diet alone is not enough for us to get our full source of essential fatty acid. A lot of people know it's with fish oil. And cod liver oil is one that Dr. James and I would take regularly. And I'm pretty sure that I could safely say for the whole group here that we don't eat fish every day. And even if you did eat a little fish every day, you probably won't get enough of that essential fatty acid, those healthy fatty acids that you need. So we do recommend supplementing those sources. And there's all these different kinds. So maybe we need to emphasize a specific kind that's going to suit what your needs are. So with the DHA, we've got brain development, cardiovascular, it reduces age-related mental decline. So there's a huge part in the brain, and the neurological part of that is big in the DHA side. In the EPA, we're looking at cardiovascular function and reducing inflammation there. So maybe a little bit more beneficial for somebody who has heart disease risk or something like that. And DHA is very big in prenatal care and making sure that as your baby is developing, it's got a great source of fatty acids to build its nervous system. So we've got your schedule. I hope everybody did fine with staying on track today. If you're starting tomorrow, that's totally fine. No shame in that. Just let me know if you have any questions about any of these, or if you have anything that comes up that you're kind of concerned about, just shoot me an email. So, what we're going to be doing, a few people have the dairy-free one. You're only doing 2 scoops in the dairy-free protein shake. Just make sure you read the label for that. For the chocolate and the vanilla, we're doing 4 scoops per shake. The size of the scoop is different. That's the difference between the two. Otherwise, you're still getting the same amount. I recommend having a protein shake at least twice a day. And I'm probably going to have one tonight as my dessert because I do get a sweet tooth craving. So the SP cleanse, you're going to be taking 5 of those 3 times a day. The turmeric, you're going to take 1 twice a day. My recommendation for that is to do 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. So you're spacing it out nicely throughout the day so your body gets a full dosage as it goes and breaks that down. The Cyruta Plus, you're going to do 3 tablets 3 times a day. And the black currant seeds, only 2 of those soft gels 3 times a day. And then this is your plate. This is what I want you guys to think of as you are creating your meals, as you're setting your plates up. If you happen to go over to a friend's house to eat or something like that, this is how you want your plate to look. See how it's 60% vegetables, 30% protein, and then the miscellaneous and nuts and seeds we'll talk about in the next slide as to what those are. But we want to make sure that you're getting on the majority side the vegetables. And like I said, you want to do twice as many vegetables as you do fruit. So vegetables, 1 serving size is a half a cup. A target would be 13 to 15 servings per day. That's quite a bit, isn't it? So what we want to make sure that you're doing is spreading that out throughout the day. So pack some of those vegetables in a baggie and have it on the side to just grab and snack on. Make sure you get all those good nutrients and that fiber to help push everything out. Starchy vegetables, one serving is a half a cup. And this is all located within the guidebook. So you can look at what those actually are considered starchy vegetables. Fruit, you're going to do one serving. And I recommend sticking that to shakes only as best you can. And that one serving is about half a cup to 3/4 of a cup. So I know that the guidebook recommends or says that you can have apples and that kind of stuff. I would recommend sticking to berries like blackberries, blueberries, strawberries. They're a little bit better for your blood sugar. There's a little less sugar in them, and they have lots of antioxidants in them, so they're very good for you for detoxifying. Your proteins, one serving's 3 ounces, or the size of the palm of your hand, if that's a little bit more helpful. And you want to do 2 to 3 servings of that a day. So lean proteins is key. And of course, a list of that is going to be in your guidebook. So nuts and seeds, we're going to do serving as 1/4 of a cup of nuts and then 1 tablespoon for seeds. So 1 tablespoon is a serving of those sunflower seeds. And strive for 1 to 2 servings a day. I usually like to eat a little bit more heavier on the fat side because it helps fill me up and I don't feel as hungry throughout the day. So I may have 2 or 3 servings per day. And I usually eat an avocado a day. And then miscellaneous, we're doing one serving, that's 2 teaspoons. Let's see, what do I have for miscellaneous? Oh, that's your fats, that's your oils, your avocado, um, coconut oil, flaxseed oil, olive oil, all those kinds of things. So one serving is 2 teaspoons, and you're going to do 3 to 4 servings a day. And then your beverages, that's filtered or spring water, herbal tea that's non-caffeinated, or green tea, and nut milk. So you can use coconut milk or almond milk, those kinds of milks. And you can probably have some fizzy water if that's something, or bubbly water, whatever you like to call it, if that's something that you do drink. And the thing with coffee, you are allowed to drink coffee as long as whatever you put in it is like an organic heavy cream or like a bulletproof coffee. All right, so let's talk about your immune system. The immune system is an amazing thing. It's, like I said before, it's innate, something we don't have to think about. It just does its job on its own. And it has three things here where it detects, deflects, and destroys. Um, so I just figured you guys might want to know a little bit more about the immune system since we're going to be working on improving it. What we've got here is the different areas that the innate system is pulled from. So your lymph nodes, lymph vessels, your lymphocytes, bone marrow, your white blood cells, and your skin or your mucous membranes. This is where your defense system lies. So we've got your external barricades and then your internal defenses. And this was kind of listed in there where your internal ones are your white blood cells, or your external one is your skin and your mucous membranes. So your immune system uses an arsenal of physical and chemical barriers, killer cells, and even fever to keep you healthy. And we're going to go into a little bit more detail as to how it does that. These built-in defense systems are in your respiratory system, your digestive system, urinary, and reproductive. So you've got your acid from your skin and from your vaginal secretions that are going to kill any bad bacteria that should not be invading the body. You've got your mucin from your mucus and your respiratory and digestive passages. Those are going to help break things down as they try to get into your body. And we've got a few other things listed here. You guys are more than welcome to read on your own. Yes, sweat is going to destroy that bacteria. Very important things, although we find them kind of gross. They're really important. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about your internal innate defenses at the cellular level. So we're going microscopic here. These examples are going to be fever, chemical signals, inflammation. Those are all examples of this cellular level defense. So the first person that we've got on the scene is our phagocyte, which literally means to eat. This cell will eat the invaders, the pathogens. Then you've got your neutrophils. So what your neutrophils do, they're actually the most abundant ones. They're sticky, so they grab a hold of, you see that little pathogen there? He grabs a hold of that little pathogen and he holds on to it and then he dies. The neutrophil dies. So you can see down over here on the bottom right side a little pile of neutrophil limbs, whatever that is. Those neutrophils will then turn into pus as they break down. So that's when you get that in an open wound, you get that pus. It's your neutrophils that are broken down and destroying all those invaders. So we also have our macrophages, literally means big eater. You've got your free type and your fixed type. So your free type are floating around in your bloodstream, and the fixed type are ones that are focused in specific organs. So you have one, for example, that's specifically focused in your liver. And you've got other ones that are in your lungs and your GI tract and all of that. Then we've also got our natural killer cells, and these guys will actually kill your own cells if they're infected with the virus. So here's how they do that. This is a picture of one of our cells. It's got its cute little yellow cone hat there, letting us know that it's totally fine, everything's great. Then all of a sudden, that little healthy cell becomes sick. You see how he's a little yellow in the bottom right corner there? And his hat has fallen off. That major histocompatibility complex, the MHC1, that little hat is a signal to the immune system, to those cells that are in the immune system, that the cell is unhealthy, it's not okay, and it could potentially be contagious. We need to do something about this. So those little neutrophils typically, but it could be other forms of white blood cells. He's going to go in there and actually poke that cell and cause it to die. And that's called apoptosis. So, inflammatory response. This is what we feel, right? We get the 5 signs of inflammation: our redness, swelling, heat, pain, and then loss of function. That comes last typically. So, what we've got here is an example of how the cells are all going to work together to repair the tissue and to fight off invaders. What we've got is an open wound on the left-hand side. We fell, scraped your knee, and now you've got a cut and you're bleeding. So what we've got is a histamine response. You can see that cute little purple blue cell that's pushing out histamine, those little green blue dots. And what that does is it brings other cells to the area. It sends a signal out that there's an injury and we need to repair this tissue. So that histamine response is going to create swelling, redness, all of those signs of inflammation. And the best example of this is allergic reaction to a cat, potentially. So if you're allergic to cats, you notice that you get all puffy in the face and red and congested. All of that is that histamine. So as an example on here, those antihistamines reduce the unwanted reaction that mast cells create when triggering the immune system, which means that it's kind of dampening your body's natural ability to fight off invaders. And that's something that there's always a place for it, but we want to be very careful that we're not doing it when it's not necessary. We want the body to be able to do these things because it means it's going to heal it and protect it. All right, so here we are, an acute injury. Then, look, we've got our capillaries again. Those capillaries are located near that cut. So what's going to happen is that the little cells are going to pop out of those little capillaries to be able to help out in the area that it needs to protect and repair. So from there, we've got this little picture here that shows our white blood cells with our invaders. And it seems pretty doable at the moment. It looks like a few neutrophils down, but it looks like the neutrophils and macrophages are going to win. But sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, and it's just a matter of whether the immune system is down, so it's not able to perform at its best ability, or there's just way too many invaders and they just can't handle it. So what do? We call the thymus gland for help and get your nose out of the gutters or get your head out of the gutters. That's not what that looks like. But the thymus gland is going to send out a fire blast throughout the whole body, and it's going to increase your body temperature. Now that's how we get a fever. So the thymus gland is controlling that, raising the temperature up so we can heat up and cook all those bad pathogens. So the thymus gland is a big part of your immune system and all those white blood cells, but our gut is a really big part of this too. And G mentioned earlier about sugar and how that can be, or how that is a major leading factor into disease and not feeling well in general. So, did you know that 70% of your immune system is in your gut? Most of that is related to how much of the lymph system is located within your gut. In your lymph system, if you noticed on there, lymph nodes, lymph channels, all of those are a part of your immune system. And if that is not healthy, or if that part of your lymph area is just overburdened from trying to clean out what's going on in the gut, then that means that's 70% of your immune system. That means you're only really relying on 30% to be functioning at its fullest ability. And that could be kind of scary depending on what you're potentially coming up against. So we want to make sure that we keep our gut nice and healthy. Our gut bacteria, everybody knows about that pretty much. It's been talked about frequently, but we'll just touch on it briefly. There's trillions located within your gut, hundreds of different species, and they all kind of do different things, and I'll pinpoint a few just to clarify for you guys. You've got good bacteria and bad bacteria, and both feed off of different things. And the good bacteria plays a really important role in digestion and fighting inflammation. So our good bacteria, we've got an example is the Eubacterium. That's specifically going to fight inflammation. The Lactobacillus breaks down food and it fights off bad bacteria that causes symptoms like diarrhea. Nobody wants that. And Bifidobacterium is going to help fight off diseases. That includes cancer, celiac disease, Crohn's disease, all of those inflammatory bowel diseases that are plaguing America. And then we've got our bad bacteria, and we all know about E. coli. Nobody wants to come across E. coli in their food. But E. coli consumes simple sugars, and it's usually lower in a plant-based diet. So if we think about, E. coli, there's a whole world inside of your gut, and there's going to be good and bad, and we just want to make sure that there's an appropriate balance between the two. Everything has a purpose. The Methanobrevibacter produces methane, which actually is stinky. So if you notice that you have some gas and it's a little stinky, there may be an overgrowth of that specific species of the bad bacteria in your gut. And then the Columcella, that's pro-inflammatory, and it's pretty high in Western diets as well, which is the standard American diet. So, as noted in the corner here, inflammation leads to diseases of aging. So, you can see out there we got dementia, cancer, Alzheimer's, heart disease, diabetes. We want to make sure that we try to limit as much inflammation in our body as possible so that we don't have these issues later in life. So, how do we reduce bad bacteria? So, what did G say earlier? Sugar is no good. Avoid some substances they like. Don't feed the bad bacteria what they're thriving off of. So, the key to longevity is feeding the good bacteria and starving the bad. So, speaking of sugar, summertime treats for the kids. So, this is a chocolate chunk cookie from Chick-fil-A, 26 grams of sugar. Then we've got this Peter Rabbit Organics. I've seen that all over the place. That's 22 grams of sugar. And this slush puppy, oh, I used to eat those all the time as a kid. And I'm not going to feed that to my kids. 22 grams of sugar, and it's supposed to just be ice and syrup. Summertime treats for the big kids. So this is something that we all could potentially be coming across this summer, and they do come with quite a bit of sugar and extra calories. So we want to make sure that you keep that in mind. Even though it's a liquid, it could add up to quite a bit of grams of sugar or calories that are specifically sugar or originated from sugar. So something to keep in mind, managing sugar with exercise. So what does it mean if you have just one of those watermelon margaritas? That's 50 minutes of walking, or 20 minutes of running, or 8 minutes of metabolic training, or 13 minutes of burpees. I don't think I could do 13 minutes of burpees, but I think I could walk for 50 minutes. But if we have two of those, look at how that grows. 19 minutes of burpees. Oh my gosh. And then if you have a whole picture of it, that does not seem very doable. So I think you may want to reel that in a little bit. So some of these plates may look familiar from this past week, from the 4th of July. Very yummy foods, but if you look at all of these things, this is all supposed to be equal in terms of calories. You take a look at that hot dog and compare it to that grilled asparagus, that's quite a bit of asparagus. I think you'll feel a lot more full if you eat that much versus a third of a hot dog. All right, so drink up. Carry a reusable water bottle. These are a few more tips that I have for you guys. Add lemon or cucumber to infuse flavor. Sometimes I have a really hard time remembering to drink it, but if it tastes really good and I want to drink it, that helps a lot. And if it's in a cute reusable bottle, I don't know about you, that ladies, if you care about that, or gentlemen, whichever. But a cute water bottle makes you always go for it a little bit more. And then combat fatigue with water, not coffee. Don't drink coffee when you're tired. When you hit that 3 o'clock fatigue time, just down some water. And then be sure to drink water before, during, and after exercise. Even if you're going for a walk, bring a water bottle with you, carry it, whatever you need to do just to keep yourself hydrated. And then, of course, move your body. Look at that beach. Doesn't that look so nice? So, and consider incorporating mind body connection. Walking on the beach is a really great form of exercise because you can actually take a step back from everything going on in your life and put your feet in the water and just maybe do a self guided meditation. Just kind of center yourself again. This is all a part of that anti inflammatory response program. So, here we are. Don't forget your challenge. We want to make sure that you're avoiding all of those foods that you're not supposed to be eating. Just follow what's in the guidebook. Try to move more. Try to get 10,000 steps a day, even if that means that you've got to take a step away from the desk to go walk down the street and back. But try buying more local and organic foods as well. It does make a difference in the quality of nutrients that you're getting and the amount of nutrients that you're getting in the vegetable or the fruit. All right. You guys ready for this? It's only for 10 days. Challenge accepted. I'm really looking forward to seeing how you guys all respond to this program, what your thoughts are on the program. And I'm looking forward to seeing those scanned results and those graphs improve, see those numbers get better. So thank you all so much for meeting me here tonight. And we will have our next class next week at 6 o'clock.